When you have dreams at night, do not automatically dismiss them, because some dreams come from God. And I am speaking from experience. I started having dreams, spiritual dreams, at a very young age, the age of 6. And I come from a family of dreamers. And my own personal theory about my family is that it almost feels as though we are a family with kind of prophetic giftings and tendencies, because of, my dad being a dreamer, my mom being a dreamer, my brothers, aunts, uncles, you name it. But the point of this video is to encourage you to pray about your dreams instead of automatically dismissing them. Yes, there are some dreams that are complete nonsense, and there may be a lot of biological reasons, for those dreams. And there are also dreams that come from the evil one as well, excuse me, that you have to be aware of too, because it can reveal how the enemy is trying to attack you. But in Daniel 2, Daniel says to King Nebuchadnezzar that there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets. And the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes God reveals secrets in our dreams. And it is imperative for us to seek his face about these things, because from my experience, God, for some reason, tends to speak in symbols. Sometimes he can give you literal dreams as well, like verbatim. I remember hearing stories of my dad, having dreams as a boy, and they would come to pass in minutes. And so it's possible for God to give you dreams like that. But from my experience, and of course my experience is not everyone's experience, usually God tends to speak in dreams very symbolically. And if, for example, there's a dream that really disturbs you, it's because God wants you to spend time praying and seeking his face about it, so that he will reveal it to you. And dreams that come from God are always extremely important. And so that's one thing I want to say. Another thing I want to say is that if you are a person who does not dream, it could be, and I'm not saying definitively, but it could be that God has stopped trying to speak to you in that way, because you have stopped trying to listen in that way. And so if you used to dream a lot and your dreams have stopped, then you can simply ask God, Lord, please show me anything that you want to show me. I do want to warn you to be careful with that, because God can give you some very intense dreams, and it is definitely not for the faint of heart at all. For about maybe a month or two, I've been, right before bed, when I remember, I would ask God, I would quote the words of Samuel, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." And there were a few times that I prayed that prayer right before going to sleep, and I got some really intense dreams about the future that I'm not going to share right now. I don't really feel released to share these dreams at the moment. I have spoken to my wife about it, and she believes that I should share them. But I'm going to keep praying about it before I do, because they're pretty intense, and I want to wait for God's timing. But I just want to encourage you to not automatically dismiss your dreams, because remember, the enemy has been working for years to suppress our belief in the supernatural, to convince us that everything is just material, physical existence. You can explain everything by science. Science is phenomenal, but it can't explain everything. And science is unable to study the supernatural realm as sufficiently as it can study the natural realm. And so, yes, if you are someone who has been a dreamer before in the past, pray and ask God to, resume giving you dreams. And another big pro tip is try your best to write down your dreams as well, because that shows God that you're serious about receiving from him. And of course, this is not the only way that God can speak to us. And like I said before, I do want to warn again that not every dream comes from God. You really have to pray and have discernment and ask God. Do not automatically assume that a dream is from God, because the enemy can trick you that way as well. The correct protocol is, after you dream, write it down and pray about it. That's the best way to handle dreams if they seem to, be pointing towards something. And so I just want to leave you with that. If you are someone who has experienced dreams before that have come to pass, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about that. And if you know someone who's a dreamer and those dreams have come to pass, I would love to hear those stories as well. Let me know in the comments.